Good morning. How are you guys doing? Good. Hey, two of today's Bible readings are about people listening, paying attention. Did your parents ever tell you got to listen and pay attention? Did they ever tell you that? No, they never tell you have to listen and pay attention? Not your grandparents either? No? Sometimes, when I was a kid, listening and paying attention, it was kind of hard. Why do you think listening or paying attention would be hard? Sometimes there's other people talking, right? And you're more interested in them. Sometimes there's something going on out there. Last night we were having church and somebody pulled in and they had a truck with flashing lights and they left the flashing lights on and people said, I was trying to listen to you, but I was watching the flashing lights out there. True story, it really is. Sometimes those things, they get distracting and sometimes it's hard to listen, whether to listen to our parents or to listen for God. And one of the things that's important is not to let all those distractions happen. That's what happened in the first Bible story about Elijah. He went and he hid out in a cave, and God said to him, you know what, you got to listen for me. So the first thing that Elijah heard was a great big wind, and it went, and he ignored that because he said, nope, God's not in the wind. And then there was a big earthquake, and it went, and he said, nope, I'm going to ignore that, God's not there. And then there was this fire, and it went, and he ignored that too because God wasn't in the fire. And then you know what he heard? Remember what he heard? Nothing. He heard the sound of sheer silence. And that was what he said, aha, that must be where God is. It was the sound of nothing. Is that something you usually listen for? Yeah, so it's hard. Sometimes it is. It's hard to do that. Have you ever been playing quietly in your room? Very, very quiet. You never play quietly in a room. Good plan. Because do you play quietly sometimes? Never? If you play really, try this at home. If you play really quietly and make no noise at all, your parents will come in and wonder what's going on because they hear the sound of nothing. And that's what Elijah heard. Sometimes the sound of nothing is the thing to pay attention to. So when we hear that story, we remember that sometimes God speaks to us in different ways. Sometimes God uses our friends and our parents. Sometimes God uses things going on around us to talk to us. And sometimes the most important thing is that we gotta listen and pay attention and not get distracted by all kinds of other things out there. Okay? Let's say a prayer. Dear God, thank you for speaking to us. Thank you for speaking to us. Help us to listen. Help us to listen and to know what you're saying so that we can do your will. So that we can do your will. Amen. Amen. Thank you guys very much for coming.